Hello everyone, you are on the Horizon channel, and this is a news review for today. The recent bout of a hurricane has wreaked havoc in several areas of Greece, with Xanthi city bearing the brunt of significant damage. The onslaught of the hurricane in Xanthi city resulted in dozens of trees falling, causing damage to the roofs of homes. Furthermore, a tornado overturned two cars parked outside a large supermarket in the city. Customers in the parking lot narrowly escaped harm, but the vehicles sustained severe damage. The intense hurricane was accompanied by hailstorms and strong winds, prompting numerous emergency calls to the fire department. Additionally, in some instances, objects fell from balconies, damaging parked vehicles. The hurricane even tore down fences surrounding sports fields. On the evening of November 5th, Earth experienced a powerful magnetic storm, with the degree of perturbation of the magnetic field reaching the strong level G3. This strong level of magnetic disturbance lasted for 3 hours, after which it gradually began to subside. It was noted that the geomagnetic field on November 5th was unstable. The intensity of the outburst was so significant that it caused the northern lights to illuminate the sky with a blood-red color over southern regions of Russia, as well as in the northern region of Kazakhstan, Belarus, Ukraine, and Bulgaria on the night of November 6th. While magnetic storms generally do not directly impact people's well-being, there may be an increase in reported complaints about health during such events.
Господи, это просто невероятно. Офигеть!
For all intents and purposes, the ejection was treated as an ordinary event, and both the speed and power of the ejection, as is now clear, were completely misjudged. However, this still does not explain how such a weak cause was able to produce a storm of the level observed. As the scientists clarify, measurements of the spacecraft through which the plasma cloud traveled to Earth showed that it had its own magnetic field oriented opposite to the direction of Earth's magnetic field. This is what likely further amplified the impact on the planet's magnetosphere. The magnetic storm was classified as a G3, yet it fell short of the April 24th storm, which peaked at G4 and was a record-breaking event not only this year, but for the past few years. Many are wondering what caused the red color of yesterday's auroras. The aurora borealis is caused by solar wind particles colliding with the Earth's upper atmosphere. This excites the atoms and molecules of the gases that make it up. They begin to emit in different spectral lines, and then we see the aurora borealis. Its color depends on the altitude from which the radiation comes. At higher gas densities, that is in the lower layers of the atmosphere, it is green, and in the upper layers it's red. Let's imagine it as a layered cake. At the top there is the red cream, and at the bottom the green dough. Since the aurora occurs in the upper, northern latitudes of the planet, an observer located in the south will see its cap better. Thus, the more south the observer is, the more they see the red cream, and the less they see the green dough. The farther north they are, the more colors will be mixed, creating a more varied picture. As for the threat to airplanes, polar lights are not to be feared. They occur at a much higher altitude than passenger airliners fly. Magnetic storms, on the other hand, are known to cause equipment malfunctions. The more powerful the solar mass ejection, the greater the negative impact. Surface charges on transformers and pipelines can occur, power grids can fail, and satellite navigation systems can give erroneous signals, affecting the safety of airplanes and other systems. Recall, the strongest geomagnetic storm in the history of observations occurred in 1859, and it is famously known as the Carrington event. This solar superstorm had a significant impact, with telegraph systems throughout Europe and America failing. Nothing like it has happened since, and it is only such an event that is to be feared. In our time, a similar event could lead to a collapse of power systems around the world. So different countries have protocols for what to do if it happens again. The first thing to do in such a scenario would be to disconnect everything from the power grid for a while, to mitigate the potential damage. By the way, the sun is currently approaching its maximum activity, so we should expect more strong magnetic storms and auroras in the near future. The hurricane struck Brazil just on the eve of the last leg of the Formula One 2023 season, the Grand Prix in Sao Paulo. During the qualifying rounds, the wind was so powerful that it resulted in the literal destruction of the grandstand roof at the Interlagos track, with a portion of it collapsing.
Abriu o teto. Vamos descer. Olha.
Tá muito perigoso, gente. A gente tem que sair desse lugar melhor.
In addition to the hurricane, heavy rainfall exacerbated the situation, prompting a significant number of fans to quickly vacate the area. Some of them sustained injuries, such as cuts and bruises, but fortunately, no one required hospitalization. Despite the challenging weather conditions, Red Bull's Max Verstappen emerged as the victorious driver of the Grand Prix. An earthquake with a magnitude ranging from 5.6 to 6.4 struck Nepal on the night of Saturday. The seismic activity was also felt in the Indian capital, New Delhi. According to the European Mediterranean Seismological Center, the earthquake's epicenter was located 36 kilometers southeast of the Nepalese city Jumla and 166 kilometers northeast of the Indian city Bahraich. The earthquake's origin was at a depth of 35 kilometers. The earthquake resulted in at least 128 casualties, with over 150 individuals sustaining injuries. Nepalese authorities acknowledge that the death toll may increase due to the loss of communication with many remote mountainous areas. Rescue teams and Nepalese military personnel are actively engaged in the process of clearing debris from collapsed buildings. The U.S. Geological Survey estimated the earthquake's magnitude at 5.6, while the Indian Seismological Center measured it at 6.4. The Institute of Earthquake Research at the University of Tokyo has reported the emergence of a new island, approximately 100 meters in diameter, due to the eruption of an underwater volcano. This volcanic activity took place in the vicinity of Io Island, also known as Iwo Jima. On October 30th, aerial footage captured multiple phreatic explosions where heated magma came into contact with water. The Institute noted that resulting stone blocks were propelled to heights of up to 50 meters. Interestingly, not far from the eruption site, a new island has formed, currently measuring about 100 meters in diameter. According to expert estimations, this island is expected to continue growing should the eruption persist. A powerful hurricane that swept through Bulgaria the previous day resulted in the tragic loss of 2 lives in Shumensko. A 51-year-old man lost his life when he was crushed by a collapsed wall on his property in the village of Razvigorovo. Tragically, another 67-year-old man from the town of Veliki Preslav perished while attempting to attend to his grazing cattle on the outskirts of the town. Additionally, 2 of the animals also lost their lives, presumably due to the man stepping on a fallen electrical wire. Following the storm, the police received more than 30 reports in less than 10 minutes, underscoring the extent of the emergency. Roads were blocked in multiple locations due to fallen trees, and power outages were reported in various areas.
Dur. Au, inelim mahveden.
Buraya bak. Uragan da orada.
In Primorsky Krai, the town of Lysosavads experienced an unusual weather event when it was hit by freezing rain. While other areas in the region received typical rain and snow, Lysosavads encountered freezing rain. Freezing rain is a natural occurrence in which liquid precipitation falls onto surfaces with sub-zero temperatures, causing the water droplets to immediately freeze. Consequently, the entire city, including trees, power lines, vehicles, buildings, and streets, was encased in a layer of ice. The excessive weight of the ice resulted in branches breaking and trees falling throughout the city, and it also led to the tearing of electric and communication wires. As per the most recent information, a significant portion of the city has been left without electricity due to the damaged power lines. Emergency services and utility workers are actively engaged in efforts to restore the power supply. Turkish authorities have taken the step of temporarily suspending shipping in the Dardanelles Strait to facilitate firefighting efforts for a forest fire in the province of Çanakkale. Airplanes involved in fire suppression require access to the sea to draw water for extinguishing the flames, making the closure of the strait necessary. The forest fire, which began in Çanakkale 2 days ago, has already covered an area of more than 2,000 hectares due to strong winds, posing a threat to nearby settlements. Evacuations have been undertaken, with approximately 600 residents evacuated from 4 villages in the fire-affected area. Many residents have suffered from smoke and cinder inhalation, with 40 people reported as injured. However, there is no available data on fatalities at this time. The firefighting efforts have involved the deployment of 3 airplanes, 5 helicopters, and over 200 pieces of ground equipment. Heavy rains in Somalia have led to devastating floods that resulted in a tragic toll of at least 10 fatalities and the evacuation of over 113,000 individuals. These floods have wreaked havoc on homes, roads, and bridges across the nation. On Monday, emergency personnel were tirelessly working to rescue approximately 2,400 residents who found themselves stranded by the floodwaters. This calamity has profoundly impacted the lives of more than 706,000 people, with the regions of Southwest and Jubaland suffering the most severe consequences, disrupting the daily lives of roughly 546,000 individuals. As a response to this crisis, Somali authorities have declared a state of emergency. This intense rainfall can be attributed to the El Niño phenomenon, characterized by unusually warm surface waters in the central and eastern Pacific Ocean, which subsequently triggers global weather pattern changes. It's worth noting that prior to this disaster, Somalia was grappling with the most severe drought in 4 decades. France's west coast experienced the arrival of the second storm in a matter of days, named Domingos, which was somewhat less powerful than its predecessor Kieran. Meteorologists reported wind speeds reaching up to 151 kilometers per hour, and in Bordeaux and La Rochelle, the wind exceeded 120 kilometers per hour. Despite its comparative weakness, Domingos created challenges for ongoing reconstruction efforts. As a result of the storm, over 150,000 households were left without power on Sunday morning, and there were reports of casualties caused by falling trees. Storm Ciarán, which swept across northern France, Italy, Belgium, and the Netherlands, was the strongest storm in 25 years. It resulted in the tragic loss of 19 lives and left dozens more injured.
My whole garden, wall, fences, everything down. And look at all the damage on the bloody roofs.
In the northeastern area of Paris, a truck driver tragically lost their life when a falling tree struck them. Falling trees also claimed lives in other locations, including a woman in the Spanish capital of Madrid and another in the southern Netherlands. In the Belgian city of Ghent, 2 individuals lost their lives due to falling branches, including a 5-year-old child and a 64-year-old German resident. France experienced widespread power outages, affecting 1,200,000 homes, particularly in Brittany, where powerful wind gusts reached speeds of up to 207 kilometers per hour. The French Interior Minister Gerald Darmanin reported that at least 15 people were injured, including 7 firefighters. One person sustained serious injuries in the town of Roubaix in northern France. Storm Ciarán caused flooding in Northern Ireland and significantly impacted the Channel Islands in the UK. As a result, schools in southern England were closed, and residents were advised to avoid coastal areas. Amsterdam Airport Schiphol had to cancel dozens of flights as Dutch airlines were affected by the storm. The storm's impact on transportation and daily life underscores the importance of preparedness and safety during severe weather events. Intense rainfall and flooding have inflicted considerable devastation in various regions of Kenya, resulting in the destruction of residences, livestock, and vital infrastructure. Tragically, at least 2 individuals have lost their lives, and 1 person is currently unaccounted for. Mombasa witnessed flash floods caused by the heavy downpour, which led to the sweeping away of homes and businesses. Videos circulating on social media depicted vehicles submerged in flooded streets. In the northeast, a crucial road connecting Wajir and Mandera counties was completely severed, leaving motorists stranded. Moreover, neighboring countries, including Tanzania and Somalia, have also experienced heavy rainfall.